Hi everyone, I'm Matt Swarczek, Television Director here at Fostoria City Schools. You are watching 4, which is Focus on Redmen. This is our magazine style show where we do little interviews or focus pieces on various parts of what it is being a Redmen. And today we have a great interview with Austin Milam and Mr. Bauman. Austin was able to speak with Mr. Drew Bauman, who is our new principal at the high school, and he was able to ask him some questions about what it's been like to be the new principal. And now we will go out to Austin.
Hey everyone, I'm Austin Milam and I'm here with Drew Bauman today, and I'm here to ask him questions on on his transition over to the new assistant principal. What was it like so far in your first year as principal?
It's been good. I've really enjoyed it. It's a change of pace. You know, for 2 years as dean of students and 2 years assistant principal, and the primary focus being discipline. It's nice to kind of just work in a different aspect. Experience different things from a new perspective. I feel like the year's been off to a good start. I thought we had a lot of energy from students and teachers. Especially at the start of the year, coming back and trying to carry that through. We're done with midterms now. The end of the 9 weeks is approaching. So I think if we're looking at a quarter of the way of the school year being done, there's some positive things that have taken place, and it's been a good transition. I've really enjoyed it so far.
Yeah, too. What are your main goals you want to accomplish as principal?
I came and talked actually here last spring after kind of getting ready to transition, and the big thing he talked about then was instilling a sense of pride, and I think that's still the same. That's probably my number one goal, and it's got to be a pride in like the little things that we do here. We talked about it that first day of school.
Yeah.
About recognizing that we're different so that we can make a difference, that our unique qualities are what make us stand out and what make us special, and that's something to be proud of, and I want people to be proud of that. I want you to carry yourself with confidence and to feel good about being a student at Fostoria Junior Senior High School. And the same goes for our teachers. We have amazing, talented teachers here, and I think sometimes humility in all of us, don't want to recognize that, but students and staff are capable of doing truly amazing things in this building and in our lives. So I think that's my number one goal. Obviously the second, we have to look at our academics, see where we can improve. Mr. Grine, our former principal, his quote that he always said as my football coach was, you never stay the same from day to day. You can either get better or you can get worse. One's going to happen, and it's kind of up to you to make that happen.
Yeah,
you can work hard and get better.
Yeah. So
that's where we have to focus. Is test scores. You hear a lot of talk about them, and I don't like to spend a lot of time on them. But it's how the state evaluates us. It's how our community evaluates us, and we need to improve. We need to perform at the level that we're capable of on those tests to reflect those amazing things that we do here. So that's probably our number 2 goal, and that's where I like to focus on to start the year.
Yeah, and I've noticed that you had a pep rally so far, and why is school spirit something you are focused on?
I think part of it goes back to that sense of pride, but also understanding, I was a student here. I have a lot of fond memories from my time here. I think sometimes we might have lost a little bit of focus on that. We get so caught up in teach, and not that we're not teaching through those moments, but the tests and the assessments and the homework and the grades being entered, we lose sight of the fact that you guys are still kids having an experience, and we need to make that a positive one. So we had the start of the year assembly when we talked about that and had the band present. We had the other one, since then. We actually have one scheduled for this Friday and one for next week for homecoming. So we just kind of give you all an opportunity to come together for one, to step outside of the traditional learning environment in a classroom and recognize positives that are going on in our building. At our last, we honored the National Honor Society and had them come down so all the students could see them and the positives that group represents. So that's where we want to kind of, it's that twofold: instilling pride, celebrating who we are, but also giving you an experience that you can look back on fondly. Because I know we all say I can't wait till high school's over, and I want to move out of my parents' house, and those are all good things. Go on and experience new things in your life, but the time you have here is special, and want to make certain that you feel that way as well.
I totally agree. What is your ideal school environment, and how would you encourage that kind of culture here in our school?
I think number one, and we've talked about it both answers, and it's probably going to be a recurring theme throughout whatever we talk about, is that a place where people can be proud to say that they attended school or that they can be from, but also with that, a culture that takes pride in itself. I mean, not you individually, but that this school stands for something. This school represents something to all past, graduates, future graduates, community members. I think that we need to stand out and represent those people like they deserve to be. A lot of people before us have put in a lot of hard work, students and staff, and we've got, my son's in preschool now. My daughter's going to go to school here. I want this to be a place that they can be proud of and can look up to. So I think that's number one. If we're talking about the type of school culture, the other one is going to be where we recognize the things that we need to get better at and tackle them, ferociously. We kind of attack those moments instead of like, well, it's one more thing we have to do. I have to do my homework. I want to do my homework because, when we talk about with teachers, we kind of operate now, I think most schools operate with compliance. Like, hey, you have to tuck your shirt in because the rules say so. Or you need to do your homework because I said so and it's due today, to going to that empowerment. Like, I know I need to get this assignment done because for this grade, for this class, for my future, for my, for whatever I want to do in my career, I need to tuck my shirt in. Yeah, I don't want to, but it's a rule, and I understand that rules play a part in life, regardless of sometimes if I agree with them, just to make that transition, to you guys creatively and independently think for yourselves, and understand the motivation for some of the things that we do here. So how do we encourage that? I think we've started that. I think through the success period, we've tried to encourage some of those conversations about independent thought, through our possible selves discussions, through some of the other curriculum that's been designed there, that interpersonal communication, because being able to sit down, here and have a communication or in a conversation with another person as an adult is a huge part of your success, depending on what you want to do. I want people to feel comfortable with each other. So I think that's one thing we've done through success, and I think that we continue to just stress the fact that the work we do here is important. The students we have here, the staff we have here are crucial to that success, and that we all play a role in it. It's the we, us, ours idea, as opposed to me and mine and you and yours. We have to own it together.
I agree on how, like you said, success was working, and how, like, the fact that, like, because I personally from success had felt like I actually learned something, and I actually wanted to I don't know how I would say it, like try to go at my goals from
awesome. It's kind of and it's hard. When I was your age, I said I knew I wanted to be a teacher and I knew I wanted to go to school, but I didn't really think about all that entailed, or I didn't think about what happened after that. So I think especially for our juniors and seniors, and the stuff that you're discussing, start identifying those future goals and saying, okay, these are steps that I need to take to achieve these. So that's awesome that that you are experiencing that through that class. That's a huge success out of that course, and that's what we were aiming to do with it. So I'm glad to hear that.
I'm wondering why you wanted to be a principal, and what motivates you to be the principal.
Right. When cause I'm still fairly young, especially for being an administrator. And when I came out of college, I knew I wanted to be an administrator, and I knew I probably wanted to do it as fairly soon. But again, young, naive, I really didn't know what all that entailed. And so having the chance to transition into administration early in my career and then work in various roles as a dean of students and assistant principal, I kind of knew I wanted to get to the next step. I've always been interested in leadership positions. Through my time as an athlete here, I liked being in a leadership position. As a student in college or in high school, I tried to facilitate those opportunities when I could. So I think the biggest thing for me is, especially here in this building, and I don't know that it's not about just being a principal, it was for me being a principal here. That was kind of always a career goal, being back home and leading this building. But it's been a chance to get in front of students and be in a different light. As assistant principal, your main goal is discipline, just your main focus. It's not your only focus, and that shouldn't be. Mr. Daring does a great job of interacting with students outside of just discipline, as well as assistant principal. Mrs. Wolf the same as athletic director and assistant principal, but that still is the majority of your time. So as principal, you start to focus on the academics, the classroom, how we can impact student learning, the way we can provide a better school experience. Those are things that motivate me. So coming in and just doing little changes, like the seniors coming last year and saying, can seniors wear their class shirts every day of the week? It's a subtle change, but it makes, to me, a huge difference for those students.
Yeah.
They get to go outside and eat. We've kind of just flipped the culture a little bit already to start recognizing that, hey, as a senior or an upperclassman here, you've done certain things to get yourself to this point, so now you've earned certain privileges. I think that makes a big impact. And on the side of that, though, also stressing those high expectations. Because I'm a past graduate, because I was born and raised here, I take it personally when people don't represent us well, when poor decisions are made, and trying to impact that side of it as well. Because there's a perception of our school that's unfair and not accurate, in my opinion. And I think that we need to do our best to prove to people that that's an unfair and inaccurate perception, and that we are, who we know that we are strong, capable, confident students. The whole "We Are Redmen" thing isn't about our mascot, it's about taking pride in what we do here.
Yeah. Do you think, like, the fact that we have a bad reputation here at Fostoria, like, that is a big challenge to overcome? And
I think I noticed this when I came back to teach in this district in 2009, 2010 was my first year. And there was always kind of a perception, but it was a lot of from around the small communities, maybe here or there, but we interacted mainly with larger schools. We were a smaller school. We have a diverse population, but it wasn't so different from the schools that when I went to school that we interacted with: Fremont, Findlay, Sandusky, those old GLL schools that were in our athletic league. And with that being changed, that's what we talk about being different. Our population, student population, is different than a lot of the schools around us. And I think our interactions with those schools has allowed our students to be exposed to maybe more of those opinions that people have of us. And so what I noticed when I came back was that it felt like the students started to believe some of what others said that was kind of maybe dismissed before. I just never really heard as a student here that, as a student at Fostoria, your options are limited, or that your chances of success are narrowed. And that upset me. I had a student make that comment one time.
Yeah.
That, well, it's Fostoria, no one's going to go do anything from here. I will say that student was, an 8th grader at the time, and last year was a member of National Honor Society and graduated and is now attending a 4-year university. So, we say things as kids sometimes that we don't fully understand, but that concerned me that maybe we're starting to just believe the perception and making that become reality, as opposed to knowing, that it's just their opinions and that doesn't dictate who we are or what we do. So that's the part that I think makes it tough. It's not that people think certain things about our school and our students because I could care less about them.
Yeah.
We focus on ourselves and our students, and I just want to make sure that our students in our community understands what we're capable of and who we really are. Again, that goes back to the "We Are Redmen." That means more than just an athletic field of play. It's about believing in what we do here.
And like how you said, how we have like many opportunities here. Like I feel like I've never been an outsider. I've been here my whole life, but like I have people that come up to me and think that I don't have the same opportunity as them because I go to Fostoria. But in my eyes, I feel like I have just as many opportunities, if not more, than people who go to better schools than Fostoria.
Yeah, and that's, we say the better schools, and that's where, and the judgment comes when we talk about those test scores. Because their test scores need to be improved. And that is a lot, the view, the public view, the outside view is based on that. And we have some challenges. Our students have challenges that some other places don't. But we don't use those as excuses or crutches for our students or for our, why our scores are what they are. We need to work to get better. But I don't think that there's a student that's been missing out on an opportunity they couldn't get at a school similar to our size. Yeah, we don't have orchestra like Findlay might, but they have 400 kids in their senior class. We have 100. So there are, those types of opportunities. But as far as what you're going to do here and the educational opportunities that you're offered, I firmly believe that you're not going to find a school in the area that offers opportunities that we don't, that are going to impact your future chances of success. So I'm glad to hear that, because it is, especially from someone that's been here their whole career, or from students that have transitioned, here from other schools, middle school and high school, at those ages. I feel confident that when you're here, you're able to realize that it is a strong academic school that that does provide opportunities for success for students.
I was wondering, is there anything else you would like us to know about you as being a new principal?
I think not that everyone knows me, but I think especially in the school, people are familiar with me having been here. At this point, the last students I had as a teacher graduated last school year, so most people know me as an administrator in that role. Our seniors are the first group to go 6 years in this building, so I've known them for 7 years now. So I'm pretty much an open book. There's not a whole lot that that people don't know about me that know me. I guess for the viewers at home and for you, it's just that this town is tied into who I am. My grandparents both attended school here. My father graduated from school here. My wife graduated from school here. And she's a principal at the Longfellow building. So this is a family investment for us, and it means a lot to us. It means a lot to me, and that's kind of what motivates the work that I do. And when we talk about being a principal, what made me want to be a principal in this building specifically.
Yeah. All right, that's it, guys. Well, I'm done here today with my interview with Drew Bauman, and see you guys later.
Thanks, Austin. That was a great interview with Mr. Bauman. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed that, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Focus on Redmen.